Fartmouth Podcast, WATP.
The Golden Hour is one of these shows where I guess it's considered comedy because they all laugh a lot. So I assume that makes it comedy. And what they do is they put the best joke of the episode at the very beginning to let you know that this is going to be a good one. Like, oh, okay, this has got some good jokes. So this is the very start of the Halloween episode of the Golden Hour.
Chin, are you an 80s doctor? Or?
Yeah,
No, he's
fucking dude. Everyone else here guessed.
He's either Miami Vice or there you go.
But which character?
Vice?
Oh,
Don Johnson?
Yeah, well, that's what I would figure.
I just thought.
Yeah, you're not the black guy.
I thought it was
Why
like
not?
a Korean remake of Miami Vice. You know,
It's actually, you know, Ross.
Miami Rice.
Miami Vice.
That has to be the title. Miami Rice.
So, not a terrible joke, but one that you could get a quick reaction to and then move on.
It was a fine joke,
It's
I
fine.
guess.
It's fine. It was good timing. It was the right time to say it.
Yeah.
They made it the name of this episode, and they had to put it at the very beginning of the episode to let you know how crazy good this show is. That's the best joke of the show. So I see that, and I go, that's probably not going to
I
be a good
hate
one.
that format because I feel like it would be a terrible thing applied to your real life. If every day you woke up and you saw the best part of your day first thing in the morning,
Yeah, right.
everybody would hang themselves.
That's all downhill from
Like,
here.
oh, a blueberry muffin is the best part of my day today. I'm
What
staying
also
in bed.
shows zero confidence in your show that you have to be like, guess what, guys? Good stuff's coming up. We promise you there's going to be some good stuff. Opie does the same thing, by the way. He does that stupid thing where it's like, coming up.
Oh, so it is completely retarded.
It is, completely. So you notice that everyone's dressed up for Halloween. It's funny because when we filled in for Anthony on Halloween, E-Rock gave both Eric and me instructions. Dress accordingly. It's Halloween. And Eric and I both showed up without any costumes on because we're grown adults. We don't wear costumes on Halloween. We're adult men. Not these retards. They're all dressed up. And it turns out Eric Griffin is poor. Now, it just so happens that I remember the last time we talked about the Golden Hour, I think it was around Halloween last year, and I saw Eric Griffin wearing his Fred Flintstone costume. And this year...
Like this one here, I wore last year, but we didn't go out. So this is the first time this has been out.
Picture, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember,
Yeah.
You should let me buy that.
Yabba dabba doo.
You wear the
So I know their views are down since Theo Von left the show. I guess they don't have it in the budget to get Eric a new costume for Halloween, so he has to wear the same one from last year. But at least that Yabba Dabba Doo was convincing.
He may have worn it a few times in between, just on laundry day.
Yabba dabba ew.
Ugh.
Oh, okay, I'll leave. All right, I'll see myself out.
All right, I'll save you. I'll save you because Brendan Schaub comes up with a hilarious joke here that you're going to love because they're talking about trick-or-treating. You know, they're all dressed up. They're grown men. That's a funny scenario, right? These guys going trick-or-treating.
No.
Oh, well, wait till Brendan Schaub gets to get his 2 cents in on it.
Are you guys going to trick or treat around your neighborhood?
solo.
Just like that? That's not creepy at all.
Hey, trick or treat. No, I am.
You guys got any full-size bars in there?
Because you open the door like this thinking it's a kid, and then you're like...
Yeah.
Oh, your costume's so good, dude.
This show is enraging. Everyone is just swinging for the fences nonstop. Nothing ever lands except for Miami Rice. It's the only thing that landed the whole episode. And the fact that Brendan Schaub thinks that just saying full-size candy bars is a joke. You're going to go trick-or-treating when you're going to be like, oh, give me those full-size bars. What?
It's a good costume, though. Look at it.
Oh, he's very happy with the costume.
A very good costume. It's
Brendan
great.
Schaub is obsessed with this costume. He talks to him about it nonstop throughout this. He spent $200 on it. They're like, whoa.
Good content. Good stuff.
Wow. Don't you know you have some legal fees coming up? You might want to save your money. But
Are the police looking for you? Is that why you're wearing that?
All right, so I just want to reiterate something that I've been saying a lot lately, and that is that LA is a shithole. If you live in Los Angeles, what are you doing? It's a shithole, and I have some evidence of that right here.
Can we just give it up? We're lucky that Nick's with us today. Nick was shot at last night.
Dude, straight
in
up.
his sleep. And I think you know who did it. And you don't want to tell us.
I don't want to poke the bear.
But yeah, there's my window.
Wow.
I mean, right above where you're sleeping, man. Hey, not a terrible way to go,
And
though.
you found the bullet too, which is
This is scary, dude.
Yeah,
We're
really
making
scary.
jokes, but this is like
Who's making jokes? I didn't hear any jokes.
No.
Come on, guys. You trick or treat your way.
Eric, good news. You're not making jokes about it. But literally, a bullet flew into his bedroom while he was sleeping. And he lives near Silver Lake. It's not like he lives in the ghetto or something like that. Yeah, that's LA for you. What a nice place. Okay. So then there's another attempt at humor here that makes zero sense.
well, this is how you gentrify a neighborhood. You just fire bullets into like the
What do you mean?
the poorer homes. You just
you scare them away.
So they like, I gotta move.
Was it, but it was a 22?
That's how you gentrify the neighborhood, by shooting holes in the windows. That's just the opposite, Eric. That doesn't make any... I like that even Chris Lee goes, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's not...
That's how you gentrify the neighborhood, is it?
That's not the case at all.
No.
Okay. So then they talk seriously to each other, and they're talking about how, he had to call the cops, and the cops came over, and the cops weren't any help. But I thought this was kind of funny.
They they got there relatively quick, which I was surprised, but he didn't do anything. He was a Theo fan, so he did a little extra investigation.
All right.
How funny is that?
Yeah, he was asking, where's Theo?
Yeah, right. So
When's the last time you've seen Theo?
how
Is he
funny
coming back?
Theo Vaughn, the guy who got the fuck off this show and away from these retards. And the cop shows up, he's just like, oh, you know Theo Vaughn? Can you get an autograph for me or something? And these guys have to sit there and be like, oh, okay, it's cool. Yeah, no, he's pretty funny. I like him too. All right. So Chris D'Elia here is going to explain that he does not watch comedy podcasts. Never does he sit down and watch a comedy podcast. If he were to check out podcasts, he explains what he would check out.
I don't want shit. I was just thinking about this. Somebody was saying, who was it? Gary Owen? I can't remember. I saw an Instagram video, and he was like, I watch so many podcasts, and I was like, whoa.
You have too much time.
I didn't think of comics.
I get maybe 2 podcasts a week while I'm driving. Only when I'm driving.
Right, yeah, you listen, right,
only when
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
driving.
but people listen to a lot of different types of podcasts.
No, I know. It's not
what I mean?
necessarily
Something-
comedy
yeah,
podcasts. I know.
yeah.
But that's what made me think of. I'm like, well, I don't listen to any.
I don't listen to any comedy podcasts.
Right, okay.
Nobody else's.
Yeah, I don't
listen to
listen
fight
to
podcasts.
I don't listen to any. But if I was going to, it would be like a murder one or something. Yeah.
Oh, well, if you like true crime, we have a Creep Off episode.
I'll send him a free copy of our bonus episode
Yeah.
we did about him. I'll send it right over.
We inducted Chris D'Elia into the Creep Off Hall of Fame. That was a fun episode. I'd be happy to send that to him if he wants to check that out.
I honestly thought he was going to say I'd watch like teenage girls' makeup tutorials. Is
Yeah.
what I thought he'd be into.
I think that's what he's actually watching.
Roblox, something like that.
How funny is it that these two guys who cannot put a joke together and do not understand how formats work or anything, Brendan Schaub and Chris D'Elia are both like, I've never watched any other comedy shows. You should.
Well, it's interesting because
Might
you're
want to.
making one. You're on one. Maybe you should.
Maybe you should see what other people are doing and see how to do it correctly because
Yeah.
you're terrible at this.
And that's why they think they're doing swimmingly.
Right. Because they're not watching and seeing, oh, other people actually have formats and they don't talk over each other. And when they make jokes, they land. What?
And Fred Flintstone's like, there's a variety of subjects out there.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. Listen to Eric Griffin for once. So this is what I'm talking about. When you don't watch other shows and you think that what you're doing is great, as Chris D'Elia does, you bring up the worst conversation starters possible. This is the kind of shit that I would hear if I was sitting around at the water cooler. Like, I could hear this kind of conversation if I just went to work and talked to my coworkers.
I can't remember a time that it was harder for me to wake up than today. Today, I couldn't wake up, dude.
You think you were in REM sleep and just...
Maybe. I woke up and Calvin was just like singing a song. Kristen was getting ready. And because Calvin was in our bed, we wake up and he's... Do your kids do that, by the way?
Tiger will. He'll jump in.
So every night or what?
No.
How often?
Once a month.
Oh, fuck.
That's fascinating. Please go on.
If I was walking out of a desert and I was dying of thirst and there was a water cooler at the edge of the desert and there were people around it having this conversation, I turn around and go back into the desert. Fuck you all. And also, when he goes, was it REM sleep? Did he go, yeah, and he was singing a song? Did he think he was talking about the band?
I missed that.
Did he think he was talking about night swimming? What
Probably,
the fuck?
yes. They did put a man on the moon, actually.
Oh, Jesus. I hate him so much.
Can you imagine that conversation? Dude, bro. I couldn't wake up this morning, bro. Dude, bro. I was so tired this morning, bro. I shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Go back to sleep,
Go
asshole.
back to sleep. And then it gets even worse. So this is a longer clip. But I think this really captures the essence of what this show is. I don't know why it has any viewers at all. I'm glad to see their numbers are declining because they don't deserve viewers when this is the content that they're putting out.
When you think about movies,
Yeah.
now it's like, oh, I got to watch this on Paramount, Netflix, or something like that, because who wants to sit? If it's something that you're not so interested in, I can't even imagine going to the theater.
No, you're not driving.
Like this new DiCaprio movie.
I'll go to the theater
Shit
for
is
that.
3 hours.
Yeah, but
I'll
it's
go to
too
the theater for
long,
that.
dude.
It's 3 hours.
But here, okay, so all right, let's just say, I'd like to go see that movie in the theater, but then I hear it's 3.5 hours. It's 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I think, well, I have to wait to come home. What if I want to pause it and get something to eat and fucking? I don't want to sit in the theater for
If you
3.5
go to
hours.
7 o'clock movie with previews, you're going to get home around
You're home at
11.
3:30 a.m.
Yeah, your night's over.
It's 4 hours.
But you got to pee. You're gonna miss some of it. Like, am I crazy?
No, I feel
you're
like it's the mentality has changed.
Because I'm 40. I'm 43. I'm not 22. But if I'm thinking of it, 22.
22's like,
nobody's gonna see.
Dude, I love a good movie though. I'm all about sitting in a movie, watching a good movie. But it's
for
like
3.5 hours,
everything's
though?
different now. But dude, the last Batman movie was 3 hours.
So
shit was
hold
popping,
on.
though.
I can do 3 hours if I really want to, but 3.5, bro. That's almost 4 hours.
Well, first of all, it is because now they're showing
previews.
minimum 20 minutes of
Bro.
4 hours. I don't do anything for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, guys? This right here, this rambling, boring conversation containing already made before observations, this could be a podcast.
You know, guys, the movie's 3.5 hours long. My date doesn't have that kind of attention span. What am I going to do? I'm going to sit there, she's be on TikTok, I'm trying to watch a movie.
You can't jangle keys at her in the movie theater.
Carl, there was never a better time to bring back that drop.
I know. Because when I'm watching that, I'm like, holy shit, this is what Family Guy was talking about. Every group of friends sit around and have this mundane conversation. And they might think for a second, hey, maybe this would be interesting for other people to hear. And they're wrong. These assholes are actually doing it.
They're convinced.
They're convinced it's interesting for people. 3 hours, sure, but 3.5? I love Brendan Schaub's participation in the conversation, too. The Batman movie was 3 hours. That was popping. Thanks.
I like how they were kind of doing a lesson on how to tell time. Well, 3 hours is fine. 3.5 hours? That's almost 4 hours.
Almost 4 hours.
And 4 is almost 5.
Let's go.
I'm convinced you could do a segment on this show every week.
I agree with you. It's so
This is
obnoxious.
really bad.
It's so bad.
Who are these podcasts? WATP.